Shalom, I'm Rabbi Jonathan Ginsburg of the Ezra Habonim Niles Township Jewish Congregation of Skokie, Illinois. This continues our video series on Jewish values, starting with value number 22. The general category of all of these values that I'm going to be discussing in this video have to do with the pursuit of righteousness. Now, last time we learned that tzedakah is based on the Hebrew word for justice. When we give charity, it's actually out of an obligation. But what is justice itself? Well, the Torah in the 5th book in Deuteronomy says, tzedek, tzedek, tirdof. And it's very unusual for the Torah to repeat a word like that. So maybe it's out of emphasis that we must tirdof, pursue tzedek, righteousness, aggressively. But some of the commentaries also thought that the word might be repeated to emphasize a different aspect of justice. Maybe both the ways and means of achieving justice have to both be in a righteous way. But clearly the idea is that justice must be pursued. In fact, according to our ancient sages, when Noah came out of the ark, God gave Noah 7 laws that are incumbent upon all humanity. These are not just Jewish commandments, but for everyone. And the very first one is to set up a fair system of justice. Any society that doesn't have a system of justice, where people feel like they can have their grievances heard in a fair and impartial way, it's a society that will crumble. One of the great prophets in the Hebrew Bible, Amos, has a debate with Amaziah in the book of Amos. And there he talks about righteousness and the sense that a wall, a city not founded on righteousness will be like a wall built by a bricklayer and an incorrect plumb line which will fall and break. Only a city founded on justice will survive. And so that's value number 22, tzedek, tzedek, tirdof. Value 23 is related to that, and that is the word mishpat and din. A shofet is a judge. Mishpat is a judgment, and din is law. And this is the idea that we must have this system of justice, mishpat and din, of law. We can't just rely on goodwill, on people being nice to each other. We have to have a sense of justice founded on righteousness. And so the Torah prohibits bribery and preferring either the poor or the rich, but you must judge people fairly on the facts without regard to other extraneous causes. And so value number 24 is shochad, don't take a bribe. Shochad is the word for bribery. Value number 25 is truth. Sheker is a lie, emet is truth, or emes. Now what's interesting about the word emet is it consists of 3 Hebrew letters, aleph, mem, and taf, which are the beginning, middle, and end of the alphabet. And when we end our most famous prayer, the Shema, the end of the 3rd paragraph, we say, Adonai Elohechem Emet. God is the God of Emet, of truth. And so truth is the center and the starting place of all things. Now, is there ever an occasion where not telling the whole truth is okay? And the Torah specifically says in a case of judgment, you can't bear false witness. But is not telling the truth ever okay? White lies. Well, if there's a value that supersedes it in a case, for example, domestic harmony, the Talmud specifically asks the question, if a woman is getting married and she's not wearing an attractive outfit and she says, how do I look? You're still not supposed to tell the truth in that case, but say it in a diplomatic way, something that all of us understand. There's even a story in the Torah where God does that himself. When Abraham and Sarah are told they're going to have a baby and they're very elderly, Sarah is told first and she laughs and says, my husband is too old. Well, Abraham hears the laugh and asks God, what did Sarah say? Now God could have said, Sarah said, you're too old, but that would have caused a problem between husband and wife. So God said, Sarah said she's too old. But in all other cases, except for small fibs to preserve domestic harmony, telling the truth is godly, and lies are to be avoided, are harmful and dangerous. And that leads us to value number 26, shoftim. I mentioned already that mishpat is justice, and the root is shofet, of judge. There's a whole Torah portion named for shoftim, and it tells Moses that he had to pick good men, good people, to be judges. And judges have to have outstanding character and to make rules based on law and fact. And finally, we have one of the great crimes of humanity that unfortunately occurs so often, The Torah specifically prohibits it in the sixth commandment, Lo tirtzach. This is Rechitzah, do not murder. Above all, God wants us to preserve and to love life. And the way in which we do that is preserving life, and the opposite of that is murder. And so we hope in these values, all based on justice, of tzedek tirdof, of don't take a bribe, of don't lie and tell the truth, you should tell the truth, of shoftim, of appointing judges of good people, the concept of mishpat and din, and the prohibition against murder, all are the most important and the basic values of the Jewish conception of how the world can function in a righteous and enduring way. Shalom.